Well, Steve, I know you were expecting Karen. I thought it was a good idea for us to come out and see what's on offer here at MWC, but I've lost her. I can't find her. It's a massive... Hold on a second. She's with the robots.
A pioneer in on-device AI.
Oh, hey, I'm actually looking at a device. This is a device using ChatGPT already and Meta technology. So we're talking about all these innovations, but they are actually in devices. So this is a customer experience of the future, for instance, interaction that you'll have with the device using technology like ChatGPT. So you can come up with the answers that fulfill the customer experience. SK showcasing this, but there's a ton of other devices here.
There's so much going on. You mentioned AI. If you look around the hall, you've got Samsung over there with the AI camera on it, talking about its AI as well. And that really is the theme of this show, isn't it? It's on-device AI. What's interesting there is obviously you're seeing the software, that ChatGPT software put on devices. And I think a lot of the device makers here, the smartphone makers, the car makers as well, are talking about how those chatbots are going to be infused into their devices going forward as well.
One thing we keep talking about is that AI is going to disrupt healthcare in particular. And one of the devices here was the Ring, the smart Ring. It takes on a whole new meaning, doesn't it? Because you can find out even more on the physicality of the body through devices like that. And then the AI can crunch the data and give you more insights.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So behind me there is Samsung, and they've got the rings on display. And you know, their idea is that they've got the smartwatch, they've got the smartphone. Combined, you can get a lot more data than just either one by itself. And as you said, the AI to match that. Now, just want to focus on Honor here for a moment as well. I spoke to their CEO, George Zhao, yesterday, and there were a couple of tidbits of information he gave me that the company is working on a smart ring as well to rival Samsung. It's in development. Clearly, I think health is an area where a lot of these device makers feel the way that they can sort of combine that, and also sell services as well, such as their health app. The second big piece of news was the fact that they were talking about definitely this year they're going to release a foldable phone that opens vertically rather than the book style that they currently have as well, and that's a popular sort of device at this point in time.
I can see a couple of those devices over here where we've reimagined what the interface looks like, or what the actual shape of the device looks like, which we haven't seen over the years, right? The devices have been stuck in the same old format. To me, that's interesting because the view is that the industry players are having to push themselves further because Apple and Samsung have been stuck in a range for so long. I wonder whether we're looking at a Nokia moment where the industry could see disruption with AI devices in future. Maybe some of this technology gets folded into the AI device of the future.
Yeah, there seems to be two things happening on the innovation front in terms of smartphones in particular. There was a point where we were talking about innovation on the camera, on the battery, and now the focus is all on the screens, whether it's foldables, and we spoke this week about the phone that can go around your wrist, a screen that expands that way. These are all innovations on the screen front, but I think AI is the big one. It's which company is going to have those devices that not only has the cool hardware and the good hardware, but also has those experiences that users really like. And is it going to be the Android players focused on Google? Or is it, in the case of Honor, it's developing some of its own large language models as well? And that's going to be an interesting play here.
I was just looking at that device, so that's the book folding one.
That's the book fold,
So you have one that showcased how it was, you could widen out, stretch out the face of it.
The screen, effectively, it rolls out like that. So you've got a regular size phone, effectively, in your pocket, but when you need that bigger screen, you just press a button and that opens as well. So that's another interesting one, the rollable phone. But that's all stemmed from the fact, I think, that we've had foldables, and that technology has moved on quite a bit, and now they're looking at what the basis of the foldables and thinking, right, what else can we do with these screens? And that seems to be, at least in terms of the way our smartphones look, seems to be the next wave of where the change is coming.
Which I wonder if this is linked to the announcement that we've been hearing, or the reporting that Apple is going to step back from ventures in a car. Whether the threat that's coming from everything you're seeing here is so great that Apple really needs to double down and focus on its devices business now.
Yeah, I think the car is just a very hard game to play. One of the interesting things here is Xiaomi, the Chinese smartphone maker, is on display. They've jumped into the EV business. They've got their EV on display here as well. But it is hard. It's a very difficult market to go out and build cars. Now, there were talk whether Apple would build a car or play on the sort of software side of the car. I think Apple's not going to shift its focus from automotive. It probably still sees quite a big way to that, but more on the software side, iOS in the car, some of those experiences as well for its iPhone and sort of product users. But certainly the shift now is, given the trend in AI, Apple needs to double down. We've seen a head start from the likes of Google on Android and some of the other device makers. I suspect when Apple does their next device launch later this year, they're going to really talk up the features of the phone that are powered by AI. They're not a company that's necessarily going to say the words or the phrase AI a lot, but they're going to show the user this is what the cool new phone will do, and a lot of that under the hood is going to be powered by its own chip and its own software as well.
I've got to say, I'm so excited to hear more about AI on device and what it means, what the time frame is of devices coming to market with AI. And shortly after this, we're going to wander down to Qualcomm, that's been showcasing a lot of AI on devices. Cristiano Mon, who's the CEO of Qualcomm, is going to be talking to us also about chips. I mean, the whole chip story has been massive on markets for NVIDIA, so we'll be bringing you that next from Mobile World Congress. Arabile, back to you.